So today we're going to talk about one of the most iconic movies of all time
No, stop!
What the devil are you shouting about?
and all the allegations of plagiarism involving it. In the year of 1940, Hitchcock released his first American project, Rebecca, starring Laurence Olivier and John Fontaine.
Who are you? What are you staring at?
The movie went on to win the Oscar for Best Picture and grab a total of 11 nominations, including Best Actor and Best Actress for its leading stars. Based on a novel written by Daphne du Maurier, released in 1939, this book is a gothic tale of a young girl from a lower class.
Is Mrs. Van Hopper a friend of yours or just a relation?
No, she's my employer. I'm what is known as a paid companion.
That falls in love with the rich, tormented widow.
Oh, Max, are lovely. Oh, perfectly lovely.
And thinks that they're going to live happily ever after until she moves into his mansion and realizes that his dead first wife is more present than ever. And besides that, she has to deal with being compared to her all the time.
Whenever I meet anyone, Maxim's sister or even the servants, I know they're all thinking the same thing. They're all comparing me with her. Did you ever see anything so delicate?
And the creepy and obsessed employee that is determined to drive her crazy.
Do you think the dead come back and watch the living?
I don't believe it.
Sometimes. I wonder if she doesn't come back here to Manderley. Watch you and Mr. De Winter together.
In 1941, a New York Times article written by Franz R. Grant pointed out some interesting coincidence between the Maurier's novel and the novel A Sucessora, written by Brazilian novelist Carolina Nabuco, released in 1934, 5 years before Rebecca came into the scene. The story was adapted into a soap opera in Brazil in 1978, and the resemblances are really amazing. In here, we also have a young girl from a lower class that marries a rich and problematic widow, moves into his big house, where she is tormented by the everlasting presence of his first dead wife and her loyal and creepy employee.
Boa tarde, madame.
Boa tarde.
There are also some other similarities in the stories, like in A Sucessora, there is also a huge painting of the dead first wife in the house, a mysterious room, and a pioneering relative.
Sabia que você ia procurar o oposto de Alice, porque assim ela permaneceria inatingível no seu posto de honra.
How do you do? I'm Maxim's wife.
How do you do? Well, I must say you're quite different from what I expected.
A costume party, in this case a carnival ball, where the second wife dressed up as the dead wife.
What the devil do you think you're doing?
Eu fiz alguma coisa errada?
The presence of a character that turned out to be one of the first wife's former lovers.
How do you do?
The dynamic between the new wife and the governess of the house.
Como quiser, madame.
Outra coisa, esse madame, essa maneira de você me chamar.
Sim, madame.
Nada de importância.
Com licença, madame.
And the use of fire as a crucial element to close the story. But in Rebecca's case, the whole house burns into flame. In here, the couple just burns the painting and the belongings of the first dead wife. The antagonist also has a more light ending in this case. Instead of burning into flames with the house, she just goes crazy and assumes her late mistress' identity.
Para onde vai me levar? Eu tenho que estar de volta dia 30.
Well, right after the article was published, du Maurier wrote a letter to the editor of the New York Times claiming that she has not heard of Nabuco's book until the previous year. Du Maurier's publisher also denied any intentional similarities between the two works. But in Nabuco's memoirs, she claimed that she had translated the book in 1934 and sent it to publishers in New York and England. And one of them were du Maurier's editor. But she also claimed that in the year of the release of the film, she got a visit from the producer's lawyers asking her to sign a document admitting the possibility of there have been a mere coincidence between the two stories. And for that, she will be compensated with a quantity described as a considerable value. But she refused. But she also never sued the producers or Du Maurier. But Du Maurier was sued by an author named Edwina Levin MacDonald in 1944, claiming that Rebecca was based on her novel Blind Windows, published in 1927. But Edwina lost the lawsuit. And she was also accused of plagiarism by the author Frank Barker, claiming that she used his ideas in his book The Birds to write her short story with the same name, which was also brought to the screen by Hitchcock in 1963. So what do you think about this? Have you got a chance to read both novels? Are there more coincidences? Is this a case of plagiarism? And if it is, why aren't we also talking about 1947 Rufus King's Secret Beyond the Dark? Yes, think about it. Tormented widow, mansion, creepy employee.
I think I saw you at the window when I came in. It was you I saw. No.
A nosy and opinionated sister-in-law.
You must be Celia. Mark said you were beautiful.
Mysterious room, and of course, a fire at the end. And doesn't all these stories kinda resemble Jane Eyre? Big mansion, poor girl that falls in love with a widowish kind of guy that is being tormented by the presence of his first wife, mysterious room, and fire. Tell me everything on the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, like it, share it. This is Vinicius Areas and I'll see you later.